welcome to this Profit Protector Pro video. I hope you're doing well, and as you can see, I've got them on board with me. What I'm going to be sharing with you today is a guide on how to choose your perfect repricing strategy. Okay, ultimately it's down to you what repricing strategy you use, and of course you're going to know your listings a lot better than I, but for a bit of guidance on what kind of strategy you should consider, then basically I've put together a full guide on my whiteboard in this video, whereby if you follow this through, then it will really help you with picking the strategy that you want to choose for your listing. So firstly, we need to decide if it's going to be rule-based or algorithmic. So that is point number one, step number one, rule-based or algorithmic. So how do we make that decision? So firstly, we need to understand the difference between rule-based and algorithmic. So rule-based, clues in the name, it is a strategy that follows a strict rule. So for example, match buy box will literally do just that. Penny in the buy box will do just that. They often do what they say in the title. And so they are great for if we have, something just very basic, very simple that we want the repricer to do. We just want to match the buy box, so let's just set match buy box. Boom, done. So that's when we'd use a rule based. However, for flexibility, and to have Profit Protector Pro, basically strategically win the buy box and work to bump the price up, then we want an algorithmic strategy. Okay, so these are the ones that have the artificial intelligence behind them. They're able to adapt to situations, they're able to observe what's going on the listing in multiple respects. The AI takes into account so many things, it is nuts. And basically, as I say, these are the strategies that do work to bump the price up once it's won the buy box. So algorithmic or rule-based, which one is it going to be? So then when you made your decision, we need to decide if it is going to be aggressive, if it's going to be balanced or profit focused. And so here's a couple of points to consider to basically help you decide which one you're going to go ahead with. So if I move a bit closer, there we go. So an aggressive strategy, let's start there and then work our way through. So we would use an aggressive strategy if we have a sales focus for that listing, if our primary goal is to just make sales. If we want an aggressive strategy, if we are sure that we want to actively pursue the buy box, which they do very well. They're great for busy listings or ones where you've got tough competition, or if you have a listing whereby the buy box is suppressed, you want something that is very competitive and very reactive, because in the meantime you need to get yourself in the best position against your competitors in order to make your listing stand out more than everyone else. And also when the buy box is back on the listing, you want it to be very reactive, so it does scoop it up more or less straight away as soon as something happens. If anything changes on the listing whereby Profit Protector Pro needs to react, an aggressive strategy will react super quickly. I'm not saying that the others won't, but you get a lot more reactiveness from the aggressive strategies. So sales focus, tough busy listings, if there's a suppressed buy box, if you proactively want it to pursue the buy box, then an aggressive strategy is for you. Okay, let's move on to, actually we'll talk about profit focus, then move on to balance. This you'll see why it makes sense in a moment. So profit focus, it's great for maximizing your profits on the listing. So all of them, no matter which one you set, any of the algorithmic ones, they will try and achieve the highest price possible. However, because these ones are all about maximizing your profit, these are the ones that are that bit more likely to achieve your max price just because of how they work. So they're good for maximizing profits. They're great for quieter listings, and that's because they're not as aggressive, competitive, sales focused as what you'd have with aggressive or even balanced. These ones, I would describe them a bit like a Venus flytrap. So they're great for if you're happy to wait for the buy box to fall to you. So as I say, they're like a Venus flytrap. They will basically sit there, mouth open, and then when the buy box is rotated around to you, boom, snatches it up and it has an iron grip on that buy box. And as I say, these are the ones that will work to maximize your profit. They'll work the hardest to maximize that profit. And they're quite strict about who they compete against. So, for example, if you're setting the FBA focused passive profit maximizer, for example, it won't compete with FBM at all. The profit focused ones don't really compete with FBM whatsoever, because it knows that FBA is your primary focus. That's your main competition. So they're quite strict about who they compete against. So it will just be FBA. And yeah, that now brings me on to balance. So with the balance, you get a bit of the best of both worlds. So you have a more or less equal sales and profit focus. They tend to match the buy box. They're not really about undercutting unless it's absolutely necessary. And it's a nice all-rounder because it has that equal sales focus and profit focus. They're also very flexible. So are the aggressive ones. And the profit focus can be when it is necessary, but the balanced ones sort of display this, the best, really. So it greatly demonstrates the flexibility that you get through using an algorithmic strategy. So, for example, the balanced sales accumulator, it favors a matched buy box approach. But if that doesn't prove to be the most fruitful repricing method in a circumstance where just matching the buy box isn't quite clinching it, then basically what it will do is reprice against your key competitors on the listing to put you in a more favourable position to win that way. So that's what I'm talking about there. Like, these have got the greatest adaptability, if you like. They display that, they demonstrate that the best. The aggressive ones, as I say, they're very competitive, very reactive, and the profit-focused ones do have that flexibility, but it's when it's absolutely necessary. And the balance, as I say, gives you the best of both worlds in a sense. So if you aren't sure what strategy to use, the one that I tend to recommend anyway is the balanced sales accumulator, simply because you do get a bit of both, and from there you sort of sat in the middle. So from there you can decide. If you need to go more aggressive, or if you can afford to be a bit more, profit focused. So then you can just change it from one to the other. You're not at like one extreme or the other. You're sat in the middle, and then you can make a decision from there. Or you might just like the balanced sales accumulator for what it does. It's only something that you'll find out once you actually start using the strategy. And of course, if you need to just make a tweak to it, then by all means make a tweak to it. Even if a strategy works out well for you, I tend to advise to, try another strategy if it's feasible. If you think, maybe if I try this one, it might perform in a way that helps really well. And, it might work a little bit better than the strategy that you were using because of the listing it is and the scenario. So, always try a different strategy, if it makes sense to, or if you've got a strong inkling that, if I change from, balanced sales accumulator to cautious sales enhancer, maybe I just get that bit more profit. Who knows? You'll only know when you actually try and you find out, but through using this guide, it will help point you in the right direction for what kind of strategy you want to use. If you have a specific repricing aim in mind, you have something very specific that you want Profit Protector Pro to do with its repricing, then use a custom strategy. You can build those in the custom strategy section. So basically it just walks you through a series of questions, and all you need to do is answer it, and you can choose exactly who it's going to compete with, whether it's FBA, FBM, what condition, and what to do in various scenarios involving the buy box and other competitors. So you can choose exactly what it's going to do. So you have full say in how exactly the strategy performs. So you build it all yourself. And so these are great for, if you do want Profit Protector Pro to do something specific when repricing, or you might come across a situation that does require that bit of, manual tinkering to, you push it and make it work. Because, you might have like a very sort of like tough, tricky listing with some tricky competition. And that's where, having a custom strategy may come in really useful. But ultimately, if you follow this guide, and feel free to watch this video as many times over, pause it if you like to get a glimpse of the board. So that way you can, I know, screenshot it or make a note of it for yourself. This will really help you with making your decision. So yeah, hopefully this guide has been of great help to you. And of course, you can read up on all of the strategies in Profit Protector Pro in the strategies explained section of the help section in Profit Protector Pro. But yeah, to help you decide which sort of strategy you want to use, first ask yourself, is it rule-based or algorithmic? And then use these points to help you decide, is it best to go aggressive, profit focused, or balanced? So yeah, hopefully this has helped you out massively. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you soon.